Now do the wait. No, I'm just kidding. They're standing up. We're having a fun time here at Frickers, located between Highways 20 and the Turnpike here in Fremont. I'm Tim Boulware. It's our final coaches show of the year before tournament play begins. Obviously, the girls will be starting off here in a little more than a week. Guys have about 2 weeks left for their regular season, and then they get started and wrapping up tail end of February, early March. Once again, I'm Tim Boulware, and it is Fremont Ross night here at Frickers. And remember, they have the 79-cent wings tonight, so that is a good deal. No Monday Night Football. The season's over. The season ended with overtime. And that means we don't have to talk about Taylor Swift for 6 months. Okay, let's. Coach John Cahill joining me. We're going to have Talon Brown on, Makai Lee, and DeKentre Harden all coming up here on the program for this first part of the show. Second part of the show, we'll wrap around with the girls team. Coach Juan Vela will bring his seniors, so we look forward to hearing from them. But, Coach, let's size it up. Where are you at right now? You had the draw yesterday, so what'd you get?
Well, we play Ashland at Ashland to open up with, and if we're fortunate enough to get through that, we have Toledo St. John's at St. John's. So sectional went to home site this year, and we've definitely had some ups and downs this year, but we're still working hard. They're good kids, play with tremendous effort, and I think our best basketball is still ahead of us. So I think
that's
we'll play better as we go.
That's a 14-16 matchup. I was looking by the bracket. So they're only 2 seeds ahead of you. They get that home game. Obviously, you would have had the advantage if it had been flipped, and you would have had the home game. But to size it up, do you know much about Ashland?
We've scrimmaged them in the past. Very fundamental. Coach S does a nice job. They play really hard. I think our schedule might be a little tougher. They're Mansfield Senior, who we played, is second in that league right now, and we're somewhat battle tested with who we play. So. It'll be a really good game. I have a lot of respect for him and their program, and it'll be a great test for us.
So, you look at it from this season, it's been kind of up and downs, but we talked a little bit on Saturday, and one of our impromptu conversations,
sure,
which I wish we could just move those to the air sometimes because they are so good, and they're very candid as well. But you were talking about it's been interesting because this team has had a lot of big wins, and yet haven't been able to sustain that long winning streak that you wanted.
Yeah, no, we haven't put good stretches together, and we played. We beat Southview, who's the 5 seed in the tournament, and is in first place by themselves in our league. In fact, their only league loss is to us. Anthony Wayne in double overtime at home. We've had some really good wins. We just haven't found that level of consistency, and it's something we're working hard for every day. Not to make excuses, but this team probably has the least amount of varsity experience coming into the season that I've ever had in a long time of coaching. So it's a really young group, not so much totally in age, but a little bit in age too, but also just in varsity experience. So not an excuse now. We played 18 games. We've got a lot under our belt, and we haven't been playing great of late, but we had a really good practice tonight, and I always think these things are nice. Get an opportunity to eat together and hang out and be on the radio, and my seniors kind of didn't want to do it, so we had some other guys step up and volunteer, and so they're on the air tonight. But we're excited to be here, and we appreciate you having us.
That doesn't seem much for us volunteering.
Yeah, they.
Oh man. Well. Anyway, as we look at it, and your expectations at the beginning of the year. I mean, the newspaper had you, I think, dead last,
right?
And so you had nowhere to go but up, but. From the things that your team has learned from the beginning of the year to now, what do you think they've most improved on?
I think our attitude, we still fight with a little bit, but there are times where we can get really pouty, and it's something that we work at, trying just to be more mature, more even keeled, stay up, don't be an energy taker, be an energy giver. And, we preach it a lot. And
it's a thermostat, not a thermometer.
Yeah, and I mean, we just have a lot of that we work at. But like I said, they're good kids. They're fun to coach. We don't have a ton of off the court problems right now. Like they're getting better and better in the classroom. They've been fun to be around. And I think if you come to watch one of our games, the one thing I will say, and I have got this every game, but probably one. I mean, they battle, like they compete. If you look at our scores, other than the Findlay game, and the Whitmer game where we just weren't there. I mean, we're in the battle every night, and if ball doesn't go in, ball does go in. They compete really hard. They play hard. I think they represent Fremont well. We're just hoping to add a few more wins as we go forward with the 4 regular season games and then the tournament.
Talking with Ross boys coach John Cahill. We're going to welcome in Talon Brown here in just a moment. DeKentry Harden and Mackay Lee in the on-deck circle. Yeah, we're starting to switch to baseball season mentality now that the Super Bowl's over. So, Coach, defensively, I mean, there have been some games, like Bellevue, you held a little more into 30 points in some of those games. What have you seen defensively from this team this year?
Well, we really felt like we defended at a real high level early in the year. We probably haven't been as good lately. Scores are still low, but and we really try to play with pace and try to play fast. So, it's just something where we're trying to get back. But again, we're not real big. We have Michael and we have Justin that are taller than me, and the rest of the team. I think our next tallest guy is probably on the varsity is TK, who's about 6'1". So we give up size most nights. But like they battle, like we rebound. We're fairly competitive on the glass all year in terms of when you're thinking you have 2 guys over 6'3", playing Division I basketball, it can be tough. So we take pride in our defense, and we just didn't like Friday night at Springfield. We just didn't get key stops when we needed them, and so timely defense matters too. But we've got 3 straight road games, and we're hoping defense travels for us, and we can play good defense on the road.
Is the reason your team tries to play that fast pace, is that because of your lack of height, or is there some of the other things with your athletic ability that you want to try to
a little bit of
showcase?
Both. Yeah, I mean we try to get up and down because I think we do have good athletes, and we can get in transition and maybe get some easy baskets. And we've been a little bit of a press team at times, and so we do like to pressure some. I don't think we hang our hat on it every night, but depending on who we're playing, we can mix defenses some. So, we have, some real athletic guys and, some guys who can really push the ball. Mackay is really fast with the ball. So we do want to try to get up and down and get some easy ones.
All right. Well, you have a guy next to you named Talon Brown. So tell me a little bit about him and his development this year.
Talon is a great story. So Talon, not to embarrass him, but he was on the B team in 7th and 8th grade. We have a B team. And was on the freshman team last year, and through just toughness and grit is playing varsity. Starts some nights he doesn't, but he's one of our leading rebounders. I think he's 5'10", defends, tough kid, and only a sophomore, so we've got him back for a couple of years. And he's Don Trez's little brother, so I coached Trez with his basketball career, and I don't know who'd win a one-on-one game, but they'd both play pretty hard. So it would be physical and competitive, I'm sure.
Well, we'll have Mackay Lee and DeKentry Harden here in just a few moments. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those two?
Mackay is a gym rat, loves to be in the gym, real good student, and, has worked really hard at his game. Someone who cares a lot about, being a good basketball player and being a good human being, and I'm proud to have him out there. He's had some ups and downs, and you get that when you're a point guard, and this is really his first true run as our point guard. His cousin Aiden Carter was our point guard the last couple of years, and so Mackay's in that role now, and he's had some real high highs and some tough nights, and he's handled them all with class, and we're glad he's on our team.
How about DeKentry?
DeKentry is a kid who, coming into the season, I was challenging a lot because I just think he's got a lot there, but sometimes he can get in his own way, and he's really blossomed. He's our second leading scorer right now. He can take some criticism in practice and battle through it. He defends at a pretty good level. He'll rebound, and he's our best free throw shooter. He's one of our best 3-point shooters. So I'm happy with him because it hasn't come easy for DeKentry, and partially because I made it tough on him. But he's stayed with it, and he's battled, and he's someone we can, for the most part, count on right now.
So why do you make it tough on some guys?
I try to make them tough on all of them. I think if practice is more challenging than games, and the games become easy. But Kentry just. He's young and enthusiastic, and sometimes, we would just clash. And, he, like I said, he didn't have it easy, but he's persevered and battled, and, he's got a level of toughness to him now that, he'll make tough shots. He played well again the other night at Springfield. So, and again, only a junior, so we've got him back another year as well.
All right, let's welcome in Talon Brown. Of course, we're here at Frickers for the Coaches Show. Give him a round of applause. There you go. It does take a lot to be on radio. I didn't know a lot about that because I always wanted to be on radio. So, Talon, Well, you know, I saw you on the football field this year, and of course, then you make that transition to basketball. So, how do you think it's gone for you so far in terms of some things that you're learning and developing your game?
I don't know.
Okay,
Like
that's fine.
from varsity football to JV basketball, at first it was cool, and then moving up higher to varsity basketball, it was a big step for playing with older guys like juniors and seniors.
And a little intimidating, but you worked yourself to there. So when you were on the B team in the 7th and 8th grade, as Coach explained, and then you're on the freshman team last year, now you're bumped up to varsity and even starting some games. How big of a learning curve was that for you?
It was pretty big. I had to learn a lot and adapt to like higher standards and all that, and just
What's the biggest thing that you learned? What's the most important thing you learned?
probably being tough under pressure and not bending or folding.
Yeah. And, you know, that goes with you, coaches. How competitive are the practices and how, you know, because you talked about a little bit about being tough on guys for practice, but how does, you know, the old adage, you practice like you play, well, how does that help these guys play better?
Well, you know, I think we've got real competition because if you come watch us play, we've got a lot of young guys that are battling for minutes. So, you know, we've had a lot of different starting lineups and a lot of guys that are in and out of there because, you know, somebody might outplay them in practice that week. And so, you know, Talon's got to battle with all those guys that are kind of in that 3, 4, 5 spot. But, you know, Talon can step out and play a little bit. I think I could come into practice one day and tell him he's fantastic and he's the best and he's going to go play really hard. And I could come in and tell him, you know, you've really not been playing very hard. You got to step it up, and he's still going to play hard. Like he's a worker. He'll compete every day. Not much phases him. You know, we're working on his radio skills tonight because I told him like someday you're going to be getting interviewed. You know, you're going to be good, and people are going to talk to you, so you got to practice this stuff. So, you know, these are like life lessons that I think high school coaches teach. And you know, whether it be like be a good citizen. Be to school on time, you know, like taking criticism. I mean, you get some, I'm sure, at WFRO. I get some at school. You know, those are all life lessons that kids can learn through sports. And coaches that don't do that just aren't doing their kids any favors.
Sure. So I agree with you.
Yep.
And I'm still learning that. I just usually deflect it and say, yeah, my wife's more critical than I am.
And if you get married, you get some of that too, Talon. Yeah.
Couple last things, Talon. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your family?
My oldest brother, Dontrez, plays football at BG right now. He has one more year left.
We just had the Falcon Coaches Show just a few minutes ago. But that's for basketball. It's not for football. We have to wait till the fall for football. What did you learn from him, by the way? I mean, did you learn a little bit from him about how to play the game?
Just being tough.
Yeah.
And learning how to play undersized most of the time, like height-wise.
And is that where you want to go, BG?
Nah.
No, you don't? Have you thought about where you want to go?
Probably somewhere big like Ohio State.
Oh, okay. So you want to go? You want to be a Buckeye? All right. What's your favorite class? We ask the hard questions here.
He's a good student, by the way. He gets good grades. Talon's a good student.
Don't tell me study hall.
Right, French class.
Oh, really? Yeah. Why don't you say something in French for me?
I can't.
Okay. I will say one because I took 3 years of French. Okay.
Nice.
So I will say something and you respond. Comment t'appelles-tu? Comment t'appelles-tu? That's name. So just say my name.
Talon.
There you go.
Yeah. Muy bien. I took Spanish, so I can't help out there. Yeah.
Well, very, very good. No, that's awesome. And why don't you shout out to your French teacher for you?
You can say it in English if you want, man.
No, that's okay. We don't want to say it.
Miss Woodman?
Yeah, Miss Woodman.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, all right. Miss Woodman. All right. Well, very good. Well, Talon, we look forward to seeing you on the court tomorrow night against Oregon Clay. We will have this game here on WFRO, Eagle 99, coming up tomorrow night. So we'll welcome in Two fresh faces, Makai Lee and DeKentre Harden, coming up in just moments. And a reminder that we're at Frickers for the Coaches Show tonight. It's our final show of the season before these guys get ready for tournament play. So make sure you come on out. 79-cent wings. You can probably watch the replay of the Super Bowl if you missed any of it, or you want to watch the commercials again. I think they rerun those as well. So all out here, Frickers for the Coaches Show. More to come as we roll along here on Eagle 99 from Frickers. I'm Tim Bolware, and we're joined by Makai Lee and DeKentre Harden, who are both juniors of the basketball team, and they'll be talking a little bit about what? There we go. All right. We tried to manufacture that, that applause for both of them. So, well, tell me who wants to go first? And,
I will.
yeah, okay. All right. So, Makai, why don't you tell me a little bit about your season? 12 points per game. You're obviously shooting very well, but also running the point guard. There's a lot of pressure on you to be able to make those points, but also be able to direct the offense. So how do you try to do that balancing act?
I try to do that balancing act by working on it every day because I can always get better at it, and that.
Yeah, that's a little low. The mic's a little low. Let's see if we can try that. Let's see if that might do it a little bit. All right, go ahead.
Is that better?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I try to work at it every day because if I don't work at it every day, I'm not gonna be able to do it in game. So, yeah, that's how I keep it up all the time.
And you guys nearly scored an upset win against Tiffin Columbian earlier in the year, if I remember right.
Yeah. We just, I don't know, we were playing well, but we weren't at the same time. Like, most of our shots weren't going in, so we had to do what we could.
Yeah. You're the one that took the shot right at the end.
Yes, I was.
Tell me a little bit about that play.
I don't know. It was just I couldn't get it to DeKentre because he's really our best three-point shooter.
Yeah.
But since he wasn't open, and I seen the seconds winding down, so I just took the shot.
Mm-hmm. And to be that go-to guy, because not everything's going to go as planned, so how difficult does that become for you when you have to come up with plan B on the fly like that?
It's hard, but it's also easy because um, I just go with the flow in the game, and whatever happens, it's gonna happen, and I just gotta adjust to that.
Yep. So give me a little bit of your background in basketball, how you started out, and why do you love the game so much?
I started out at age 4 working with my grandpa, and ever since I just love playing it. And I'm always been playing it.
Was your grandpa good at basketball?
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah. He wa-
I thought you were going to say something different. That's something you learn in broadcasting. Don't ever assume that you're going to get the answer that you expect.
yeah.
But it was nice he was able to do that and come out with you and help you out. What that bond you had with your grandpa. What you tell me about that and his interest in helping you develop your interest?
Oh yeah. So I have a really good bond with my grandpa. He's like I'm with him all the time. He's like a dad to me, and he's also a pastor at my church,
Okay.
and
What church is that?
Path to Life.
Okay.
And he's ever since he's seen that I could do something or whatever. Yeah. He's been helping me ever since.
Talking with Makai Lee, Kentre Harden will be with us here in just a second. He's got the advantage of being the one that goes last, so he sees how the other two guys go. But so you play almost earlier in the season. You've been playing about 30 minutes per game. Do you get winded at all? How do you build up that endurance on the court?
I build up the endurance by running out on my own, like by myself, just to be able to play in the games all that long. And running all the time, it helps with playing in games and not getting tired.
Mm-hmm. So have you thought about college yet?
Yes, I have, but I don't really know where I would go yet.
Okay. Have you thought about a major? Or is that
Yeah,
kind of
finance.
finance? Okay.
Yeah.
Why finance?
Because I want to be able to manage my own money if I get, my own money, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very, very important. I mean, that's good that you want to be able to do that. Lastly, how about your family, Makai?
My family, we're good. My mom,
Where's she work at?
she works at Ludlow Composites. She also does stuff with math. I don't really know what she does, but it involves math. My sister, Melise, she runs track, does soccer. And I have a baby sister, Miza, and she's 6, and she's still in kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
I'm in
That's
first
great.
grade.
Yeah, well, then she has a big brother to look up to, Makai Lee. So, all right, well, thanks, Makai. I really do appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right. The Kentre Harden, hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, great. And so you're averaging 11 points per game. You two are like the big duo tandem in terms of scoring for the team. So take us a little bit into your season. Where do you think you've made the most improvements?
So at the start of the year, I was on JV, and so I just came to practice every day, worked, and then it just kind of happened, and I got to the starting lineup and started playing better.
And so you exceeded. So did you expect to be in so when did you know you were going to be on varsity? I guess that's the best way to phrase it.
So during practice, I just realized
Yeah.
going against the varsity, it was like it would repel me and make me play better.
Yeah.
So when I was playing good against the varsity, I just kind of thought I was going to play varsity.
And how much of that is important to be able to prove it to yourself that you can play? Because obviously the coaches believed in you, but how important does that become when you know it yourself that you're on par with these guys?
If you know yourself that like you can play with them, then you're gonna play better. If you think you're below the guys on varsity, then you're gonna play below the guys on varsity.
Yeah. And it's worked out for you. Not only that, but you're around 75% from the free throw line this year. Where does that work come in? How many free throws do you shoot at your practice?
So at practice we get like 10, 15 minutes to work on free throws, and I take that time seriously. I do my routine that I do in game, just do that, and it translated to the game.
What's your routine? How many times you dribble?
So I do 2 dribbles to start off, then I spin it twice, and then 2 dribbles again, and then take a big breath,
Yeah.
stare at the rim for a second, 2,
Yeah.
and then shoot it.
Oh, wow. Very, very good. So, why don't you go, the Kentrey Harden, of course, joining us here at Frickers for the Coaches Show, our final one of the year, and located between Highways 20 and Turnpike here in Fremont. So, why don't you take me a little bit into the relationship you developed with some of the other players on the team?
So, well, obviously we're all basically juniors on the team, so
Yeah.
we've been playing together for years and years and years. But some of the older guys like Tykel, that's my cousin, so I've been playing with him for a while. And then the relationship with the other guys, we're friends on and off the court, which makes us play better together.
Yeah, absolutely. Developing that chemistry. So, speaking of that, what's your favorite class?
My favorite class,
Say
English. I like
chemistry, that would have been a good segue. but-
English. I like the teacher in there.
Oh, okay. And what are you learning in English right now?
Right now, well, today we did like signed up for the ACT test.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's big. You nervous about that?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they'll take you through it. You'll be all right. You thought about college yet?
Yeah, I've thought about college. I don't know where, but I know what I want to do in college.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Real estate.
Oh, wow. Okay. Why real estate?
There's a lot of money in it. That's
Well, I'll make this guarantee with Kendra Harden. If my wife and I are ever looking for a home, we're going to go to you first once you get your license. Very, very good. Well, and that's just great what you guys are being able to do this year. Lastly, what's it like playing for Coach?
playing for coach. At times it can be hard because sometimes obviously you're a player, you don't always agree with the coach. But I've learned if you don't agree, then you're not going to play.
Yeah. All right. Well, very, very good. So that's and it's good to get someone who's been so gifted in not only athletic ability but during his playing days, but also as a coach as well. So, well, the Kendra Harden and Makai Lee, thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck. We'll cover your game tomorrow night at Oregon.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right, and we'll invite you out for 79-cent wings tonight here at Frickers, home of the Coaches Show, our final one of the year from the one in Fremont. Coming up next, we're going to have Juan Vela and his players as we continue to roll along. It's Fremont Ross night here from Frickers for the Coaches Show and wrapping things up for the season for at least our list of shows. And a reminder, tomorrow night we will be at Oregon Clay. Let's see if Ross can get some revenge on the Eagles. 50-43 was the final score of the first game a few weeks back. And, of course, we'll have that game right here on Eagle 99. More to come here as we roll along. Aiden Klein, our producer-engineer, and with Nick Roth running the camera for our YouTube channel. I'm Tim Boulware here on Eagle 99. You always told me I had to face the radio, and now I can't even avoid that as we go along. We welcome in Coach Juan Vela and talk a little bit about where things stand with his team right now. And, Coach, very successful season so far, and, it's one of those things that you have done well recently. You lost to Magnificat, but that snapped the 7 games in a row that you had on that win streak. And it's amazing how the girls have played since that game I saw you way back in December with Anthony Wayne. What has been the key to success for the team recently?
Well, I think graduating, Janiyah Holmes, she was a big part of our team last year. With this new team, I think you have different roles with the role players. The starters, it's a different feel. You're not finding Janiyah where you just throw her the ball. So I think just a lot of the rhythm thing, and that's what basketball is. You got to find the rhythm with different players, and that takes time, practice, and games. Sometimes, different teams give you different defenses, so that's a different rhythm. So I think we've just grown together this year, and that's why we're playing better now.
So how is this team's personality different from last year's squad? I mean, you mentioned a little bit about Janiyah, but are there some other characteristics to that?
I would say the beginning of the year, our role players, and I keep saying role players, but they were quiet. They're stepping into a bigger role this year, and I think they take that with pride and didn't want to screw it up. But as they got comfortable, I would say this team is very similar to last year. Off the floor, they joke around. They're kids. On the floor, they're competitive. They want to win. And then in practice, they'll get after each other just like they were last year. They're very similar.
Yeah, when we're talking with Coach Cahill just a few minutes ago, and he was talking about kind of the premise of you practice like you play. So how intensive does it get in those practices?
We practice against JVs a lot, and again, that's another team that throughout the year they've gotten better. And then from the get-go, they weren't scared to compete with varsity, even though varsity was, more talented. But there's days where they get after it and they're talking crap to each other, and they both want to win. Yeah. But for the most part, I mean, they're kids, and some practices are probably not as hard as others, but we're getting things done.
So the head coach Juan Vela as his Fremont Ross team number 2 seed coming up for districts, which will begin here in a little more than a week. But I think it's interesting. You talk about that competitive, the competitiveness of practices. How does that improve your program? Because, your varsity players are teaching your JV players how to play. Then they get step up on the mantle a year from now when they get more playing time. But how does that kind of make the transition from year to year a little easier?
Well, when you get a group of people together almost every day for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you have the older girls practicing a certain way, certain level, they have certain expectations, I think it rubs off to the younger players, and they kind of have to up their game a little bit. And then it just kind of flows down to the freshmen. And then when the new year starts, the freshmen are awkward and, not sure what to do. They're intimidated, and they kind of take responsibility on who they got to be.
I was talking with Coach Cahill a little bit over the weekend, and we were talking about the RPI. And I know that it is interesting. It's hard. You have to be a math major almost to figure out all of the things with the RPI. And I know as a coach you can't be worried about it, but does it seem odd with Gibsonburg and Danbury ahead of you with the RPI this year? I know that some of the things with the scheduling came up with the NLL and everything. But how has that put an emphasis on a little bit of your non-conference schedule to get ready for tournament play?
Honestly, I don't really pay attention to the RPI, and it's out of my league. I'm not going to figure it out. Like you said, you got to be a math major. That's not me. But I know who's
I went by that long ago.
but I know who's really good out there. Toledo Start. Before they had the big injury, that's why we put them on the schedule. Magnificat was really good. We put them on the schedule. Anthony Wayne was going to be on our schedule. Margaretta's always good and solid. So I just as a coach, what teams are going to be really good, and you kind of put them on your schedule and kind of test yourself and see where you're at.
Who's made the biggest strides on your team with their development during the course of the year to add to your numbers? Because a lot with Lynn And, you know, you don't have to mention – you can mention somebody in particular because I did bring it up. But Lindy Wolf's kind of interesting. I mean, she can play down low, but she also plays outside. And, of course, Destiny has had to involve everybody, but she also scores a lot. She
Yeah.
has to for your team. So, but who has made that stride to try to complement your core?
I think Linnea has done some big things. I know in the beginning of the season she was struggling just to catch the ball and finish, you know, and now she's getting confidence to catch the ball and finish around the rim. She's moving to the right spots where Destiny, Karma, or Abby can get her the ball. Natalia has actually stepped up big time defensively. You know, that's another one. And then Jasmine. I mean, those three to me have been the biggest in the role playing for our team that gives us another another weapon that the other teams have to worry about.
And lastly with that is knowing roles. I mean, how have these girls accepted their different roles so they don't have to be the all-everything that, because those expectations can come. And, if somebody has a tough night, then they try to get out of that comfort zone. So how have these girls taken it with knowing their role and excelling at that?
I just think it's just communication between coaches and players, you know, what they feel comfortable with, what they want to do as a player, and what fits the team, you know. I know Destiny can post up, but we have other post players, and sometimes I might put her to the post. But she's a point guard, you know, at heart, and that's where she's going to play. So I think it's just knowing your players and communicating with them and see where they fit.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the NLL title and what that meant for you in the first year to get the title in the Cardinal division.
Well, from day one, the girls, that was one of our goals to achieve as a team. And, you know, when they were sophomores and juniors, we fell short to Central Catholic. And then this year, I mean, we kind of put it together and played well in the league games. And, you know, we got one more league game, and hopefully we stay undefeated.
Yeah, I was going to say, and the undefeated part. It's not just about winning the championship, but to sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good feeling.
Absolutely. Well, great job by your team this year, and we look forward to covering them in the tournament. And you have either Bowling Green or St. Ursula in that sectional final on Saturday the 24th.
Correct.
So you have any of course, you've seen Bowling Green. You'll see them again. But what about St. Ursula? Because now you're in a different league than they are.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the record, and, you know, they're very similar to Bowling Green. But I would say St. Ursula probably plays a tougher schedule. So, I don't know. I think that game could go either way. I think at the end of the day, it's whoever's hitting shots and defending.
All right. Well, very good. Coach Juan Vela joining us, Ross girls, as they continue along and NLL champions. So certainly appreciate that. Now we're going to welcome in a couple of players. We have Natalia Alejandro and Destiny Robinson. It's senior night here from Frickers for the Coaches Show, located between Highways 20 and the Turnpike here in Fremont. So settle up to the microphone, ladies, and do appreciate it. And I'm going to go with Natalia first. Natalia, thanks for joining us tonight.
Of course.
And your coach has big praise for you in terms of your defense this year. So what are you doing better defensively than maybe you ever did for the prior year?
I'd say I'm moving my feet a lot more and just beating the girl to the spot.
And, of course, you're not afraid to shoot the three, because I remember last year in districts you had two big threes. And I remember, like when you saw how open you were, your eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. So what is it about your outside shooting you're most proud of? I mean, how do you develop your shot?
I've been working on it since my freshman year. Every summer I was in the gym just putting up shots and just working on the form, trying to perfect it.
And who have you looked up to? Who's helped you out with making this progression as a player?
I'd say Vela mostly helped me. My dad was there. He'll help me sometimes. I'll look at him during warm-ups sometimes if I'm, like, getting irritated. And they'll, like, tell me with, like, hand motions or something, and it'll help me a lot.
What would irritate you in pregame?
Just if I'm not, like, making shots to my standards, or, like, if I just feel like something's off, I'll just kind of, like, get irritated with myself, like, what's off? I can't figure it out.
Talking with Natalia Alejandro and Destiny Robinson will join us here in just a second here from Frickers for the Coaches Show. Ross night, and we're talking with the girls. We had the guys on a little bit earlier. So you also play other sports, don't you?
I used to. I used to play softball.
Okay, you used to play softball. I had that listed down, but what did you like most about softball when you played it?
I love playing infield and just getting dirty, diving for ground balls and stuff.
That brings me into something I noticed. Like last year when I saw you play, I was like, she is scrappy. She goes all over the floor, and I really love that. How do your teammates feed off that intensity that you have there, especially defensively?
I just think, like I remember at Napoleon, I got a 5-second call and everybody was just hype, even our bench. It was a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just helps our energy as a team to just keep pushing through the game.
So what are you going to miss most about playing with this squad?
I'm definitely going to miss playing with my teammates, especially the seniors, with the good runs we've had and just like our team energy.
What's your favorite memory?
This one's hard. I'd have to say after we beat Central Catholic last year.
Even over Anthony Wayne, huh?
Yeah, it was a pretty good.
Yeah,
win.
it was like you came so close so many times to be able to do that. I remember calling that game and I was like, wow, that was a big moment for your team. So have you thought about college yet?
I am actually planning on going to Terra to play.
Okay. Oh, great. Well, and what made Terra the right fit for you?
Well, it's close to home. It'll save me some money for college.
Yeah.
And I can still transfer out and play my last 2 years if I wanted to.
Okay. And then what you thought about a major or anything?
I'm going to go into a nursing major.
Okay. I thought that may be on your horizon, but I wasn't quite certain, so I'm glad you confirmed that. Lastly, what are your thoughts about senior nights coming up? So what are your thoughts about the last game and what it'll mean to you when it strikes you out? I won't be on this floor. You will have one sectional game, so that'll help you. But to wrap up your career on your home floor.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty emotional, but I've loved every second of it. It's been pretty fun here at Fremont.
Yeah. Well, good for you. That's wonderful. Natalia Alejandro joining us. We wish you the best of luck throughout the season. Now I'm going to turn to Destiny, and you played 4 years. You've done everything. Do you know how many points you have?
I don't.
Okay, I was trying to get that beforehand. I wasn't able to gather that up. But so let's talk a little bit about your 4 years and just what it's meant to you. And obviously this year has been a different group. Janiah Holmes hasn't been here, but you still have most of the core group that you had for your all 4 years. So how has this group different, or is it similar, as Coach Vela said, in terms of some of the characteristics from last year's squad?
I mean, I think the roles of some players have changed over the past couple years, but at the core, we're still the same team. We're still competitive and just all want to win, and I think that's been in our minds from day one.
Mm-hmm. And, I know you've gotten asked a lot about University of Toledo, and how satisfying was it that your senior year was focused all on the court, not anything existential with where you were going to play at the next level?
It's pretty satisfying. I mean, that was my plan to choose before my senior year because I just wanted to focus on the season and trying to win games with my team.
And you chose on your birthday, from what I understand.
Yeah, I did.
Was there something to that? I mean, was that important to you to choose for your birthday, or?
I mean, it was kind of like a birthday present to myself, like just
Yeah.
making that decision. It was cool.
And you didn't have to buy any wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Why UT? What stands out for you about what makes you excited about going there?
I think the coaches and just like the atmosphere that the team has and with the fans, and I think I can see myself growing into a better player but also a better person.
And the MAC's very competitive, so to be able to rise up your level of play to the Mid-American Conference, what strikes you most about how the MAC game is?
I mean, like you said, it's competitive and there's some good players and teams, and I think just playing against that will only make me a better player.
All right, so have you thought about a major yet, or?
I'm thinking pre-med.
Okay, wow,
Yeah.
that's great. And why so? What interested you about medicine?
Well, I'm taking an anatomy class right now, and it's pretty interesting to me. But I also just want to be able to help people.
Yeah, that service is so important. I know that. What was your favorite memory on the basketball court? Do you agree with Natalia about the Central Catholic last year, or was there another memory that stood out for you?
Central's definitely up there, but also the Anthony Wayne game, just winning districts. And I think after the game, when we were standing on the bleachers to take pictures and just looking down and seeing all the fans, it was a pretty cool feeling.
Well, and I listened to that game a little bit, a few weeks ago, and I remember you slammed against the floor late in that game, and I was like, wow. I couldn't believe you kept with it. After that, you just hit all those free throws afterwards. How much of a motivating factor was that for you after you took such a hard tumble on a rebound attempt?
I think Vela called a timeout right after that, and I just kind of regrouped, and I knew what I had to do. I was going to finish the game. There was nothing that was going to keep me from finishing, and I just wanted to get the win and just kind of took a deep breath and went back out there.
Well, that's what a good coach will do. They don't want to call those timeouts and everything. So, lastly, what are the expectations going in for this tournament run?
The past few years, I think we've just kind of built as a team, and we've been in the tough games and the situations, so I think we're better for it, and just going game by game and staying focused and playing as hard as we can.
And it is amazing to me because you don't have to – Anthony Wayne's on the other side of the bracket. You wouldn't play them to a regional final, but also all the championships that you guys have had. And, that turning point 2 years ago when you lost to Northview and how disappointing that was. You lost the weight at 29 and how much night and day that actually was a motivating factor for you. Take me into that moment when you say, well, okay, I got 2 more years left. This is what we got to do to be better. Right? How did you use that loss as a motivating factor?
Well, I think in the moment it sucked, but it was just kind of that fuel to the fire. Like, you don't want to feel that feeling ever again. And so I think just in the off season and even all through season, just kind of having that feeling in the back of your head and just keeping it there to motivate you to know you don't want to go out like that.
Absolutely. Well, Destiny, we really do appreciate it. It's been a joy watching you for 4 years, but it's not over yet.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to seeing you in your tournament run there for your senior year as well as Alejandro. So Natalia Alejandro. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we're gonna take our final break. When we come back, we will get you to Karma Johnson. And we'll also have Abby Kehill and talk a little bit with them as they size up their senior seasons here under Coach Vela with the Ross girls basketball team. More from Frickers right after this here in Fremont on Eagle 99. And Karma Johnson, they're going to talk to us a little bit about the Ross girls basketball team to get ready for the tournament coming up February 24th. It's their opening game, the sectional final against either BG or St. Ursula. And, well, ladies, thanks for joining us. And, first we'll go with Abby. And, it's hard to believe that this is coming to wind down for you guys for this season.
Yeah, it's sad a little bit.
Yeah. And you've made the decision to go to DePaul for volleyball, from what I understand. Why
Yeah.
why DePaul?
I really like the coaches. They have a lot of connections, so they can help me, and it's just a good school, and I'm excited to go.
Are you looking forward to driving that Chicago traffic?
I actually don't get a car, so.
Oh. You're not giving her a car? You don't trust her in Chicago?
Trust her.
If you didn't hear that, he said, I don't trust her at Fremont. No, he does. The relationship you've had with your dad through basketball, how much has that meant to you?
Yeah, it's been a lot. I've been around the game for forever with him, and just, like, being around it is cool, and it's weird to, like, almost be done playing basketball forever.
Yeah. Well, but then you continue with volleyball. What is it that's different for you about volleyball than basketball?
I just really enjoy playing volleyball. I don't know. It's just something different. I just love playing volleyball, and it's really fun for me.
Well, it is so interesting because I know that you have your dad as your second set of eyes out there when he's watching your games. Obviously, Coach Vela is your head coach, but then you played for your mom for volleyball. What was that like for you?
I like playing for my mom, actually, because I know she'll be honest, and she's, like, tough on me, so it's good for that. But
it's I don't know. Sometimes for high school, it's hard to make that relationship work because if something goes wrong, you got to see them back at home.
Yeah.
Home. It's not like you have a buffer zone.
Yeah, it is awkward sometimes, especially after a rough game, and if I don't do the best, but it makes me better, so it's good.
Well, very, very good. What is it that's been most satisfying about this basketball season for you?
It's just really exciting to play with all my friends for one last time, and just, I don't know, getting to go out there and having a good coach.
Mm-hmm. Is there an aspect of the game that this team is doing better this season that maybe they didn't even do last year?
I think we communicate a lot better with each other and just play as one.
Mm-hmm. What's been your I know that you could talk about the team, and if you want to, that's fine. But what about individually? What do you feel like was your best game?
My best game this season?
Yes.
I don't know.
I asked the hard questions here. I'm sorry, Abby.
It was fun playing at Berlin. I feel like even though we lost, I feel like that was a good game for us, and it was good to have competition. I don't know.
So have you thought about a major?
I'm undecided. I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of interests, but right now it's English as a second language education.
Oh. Well, I told Coach Cahill, I said, all right, well, if I got to go to Wrigley Field because I'm a huge Cubs fan. Yep, I know who I'm going up with.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there as you continue to wind down your career, and hopefully we can get a lot of W's in the tournament. That's what we're hoping for. All right, Karma, let's talk a little bit with you and how's things going and how's your season gone? You always seem to come through with that big bucket. You always seem to come through with that key defensive play, and it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing just what you do for this team, and you don't probably get the accolades you deserve. But how has that been for you in terms of doing some of the dirty work for this team?
I mean, I like to do that stuff. Like, I take pride in it. A lot of girls don't, but I usually do. Like, I enjoy it.
Yeah. And is there an aspect that you like the best, defending, rebounding? What do you like the most?
Probably defense. Like, I like to get out, push the ball, I guess. I like to play defense.
Has there been a tough player this year that you played well defensively against that you prided yourself in?
Mackenzie Rowe Davis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who does she play for again?
Whitmer.
Oh, Whitmer. Okay.
Yeah.
And what made her so tough?
She's a lot, she's a bigger post player. So it's like you kind of got to get into her.
Yeah.
We get a little physical with her.
Oh, that's very, very good. And you had that familiarity having played Whitmer for so many years in track.
Yeah.
Is as you size up where this team is building up to hopefully a crescendo for this tournament run, what do you feel like they're doing really well right now?
Us as a team?
Yeah, yes.
I think we're communicating on defense well, and we're starting to get our defense down. I think that's the biggest part with us, because our offense will come, but our defense is what we need.
Is the rebounding a little bit different without Janiyah in there this year?
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah,
Some of us
so how so?
Yeah. Janiyah was pretty much our main rebounder last couple years, so a lot of us need to just step up, box out, get the rebound so we can run in transition.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a little bit about you now. Have you thought about college?
Yeah.
Yeah, where are you going?
Finley.
Okay. And you're going to play you're playing sports there, right? You're going to play basketball.
I'm playing basketball.
Okay. What was it that you intrigued you about that program?
I loved campus, and I really loved the coaches, and I think I'll do good there.
And playing basketball at the next level, does that get intimidating, or what's your feeling about when you go in? Because it's something new.
I'm not really intimidated. I'm actually really excited because it's always been a dream of mine to go play college basketball, and I'm glad I get to finally do it.
And you get to play close to home.
Yeah.
So that was now you thought a major yet?
Exercise science.
Okay. And why so?
I want to help people, and then like with their injuries, sports related. I can be a PT, or I can go medical school route too.
Wow. And so it comes full circle for you. It's amazing how many times athletics and leads to somebody thinking about a similar field that you want to go into. Did that help spark that interest?
Yeah, it definitely did. Yeah.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about your family?
I live with my mom and her boyfriend, Kevin McDonald, JV coach.
Uh-huh.
And then I live with two brothers, but one's at school and one just moved out a couple months ago.
Okay. And what was it like to have a couple brothers to play against?
Did
that
really
toughen
rough.
you up?
It was really rough. Kind of had to make rules. They can't post me up, but it is what it is.
Lastly, what is going to be your favorite memory? Hopefully we'll have more, but I'm sure you will. And but what is it that you take away now as your memory that really stands out for you?
Anthony Wayne last year, district champs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably,
That's certainly a big thing. So,
yeah.
Well, we really do appreciate it. We look forward to seeing your ride here in postseason, and thanks for giving us so many great memories for us, too. So that was really great. Abby Cahill and also Carmen Johnson joining us for our last Fricker show. That's going to wrap it up, and you couldn't ask for a better, higher note than having Juan Vela and his staff here, and, of course, their players here for our coaches show. I want to thank Frickers, especially the management and the servers that have helped us so much and been so accommodating, and, of course, Aiden Klein, our producer engineer, who have been with us throughout the year. Don't forget, tomorrow night, right around 7 o'clock, we'll be on the air with Oregon Clay against the Ross boys right here on Eagle 99. For Nick Roth, who's here running the camera for our YouTube page, and for Aiden Klein, I'm Tim Boulware. Thanks for joining us from Frickers this basketball season, and, of course, plenty more to come. Check the schedule on WFROradio.com for a list of our postseason games. I'm Tim Boulware, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night from Oregon.